If you're used to filling out IRS Form 1099 MISC by January 31st of every year, you might be a little bit confused right about now. That's because in 2021 there is a new IRS form called a 1099 NEC. Wondering who gets it and how to complete it? Then join me for this brief video where I'll answer those questions and a few others I bet you have. Let's get to it, shall we? Welcome to Tax Chit Chat, the place where we talk all things tax all the time. With the deadline quickly approaching to report payments made to independent contractors, you might be a little bit surprised by the IRS's Form 1099 NEC. But don't worry, it's really not all that challenging to complete, and I'll show you how. What is Form 1099 NEC? Form 1099 NEC, non-employee compensation, is a form that solely reports non-employee compensation. It's not a replacement for 1099 MISC or 1099 misc, as that form still exists and is still being used for tax year 2020, the one that we'll be filing returns for come February. And the 1099 NEC is actually not a new form. It was last used in 1982. I know, seems like eons ago, right? But the IRS revived the form in 2020. Why is the IRS bringing back Form 1099 NEC? Well, before the 2015 Protecting Americans from Tax Hikes Act, or the PATH Act, taxpayers could file one Form 1099 MISC to report non-employee compensation and miscellaneous income items by February 28th of each year. But the PATH Act changed the Form 1099 MISC due date to January 31st for reporting non-employee compensation. Now, because of the due date change for non-employee compensation, taxpayers had to begin separating non-employee comp using two Form 1099s. And this change not only caused a lot of confusion for business owners and taxpayers, but it also caused the IRS to mistakenly treat forms received after the January 31st deadline as late returns. So, the IRS has brought back the Form 1099 NEC to separate non-employee expenses and clear up the confusion. Now, who exactly gets Form 1099 NEC? Form 1099 NEC is used to report non-employee compensation, and non-employee compensation includes payments to independent contractors, so not employees, in the form of fees, commissions, prizes, awards, or other forms of compensation for services. You must typically report a payment as non-employee compensation if all of the following conditions are met. Number 1, you made the payment to an individual who is not your employee. Number 2, the payment was for services in the course of your trade or business. Number 3, you made the payment to an individual, a partnership, an estate, or an S corporation. Corporations are generally exempt from you having to issue them a Form 1099 MISC or NEC. However, there are some exceptions, say for attorneys and those who get legal service payments. And number 4, the payments to the payee were at least $600 during the calendar year. So how exactly do you complete this form? Well, very similar to Form 1099 MISC. So the first place we must actually start is by looking at a 1099 MISC. And what we have on the screen is a 2019 1099 MISC. So we can see on this form that it includes the payer's name, it includes their TIN or tax identification number. This could be either a social security number or it could be an EIN. Then you have the recipient's TIN, so the person receiving the form, their name, address, all of that good stuff. And we can see that the Form 1099 MISC had rents, royalties, other income, but right here in box 7, which I have highlighted, that was a non-employee compensation component. Well, this is a Form 2020 1099 NEC. And you can see it still has the payer's information, payer's TIN, the recipient's TIN, and all of that information. However, it only reports the non-employee compensation. There's very little on this form, and once again, it's highlighted, non-employee compensation. So there may be instances in which an individual has federal income tax withheld or state income tax withheld. However, the completion of the form is relatively straightforward. So right here in box 1, we would include the amount that got paid to the individual. We would say who's paying the individual, who the recipient was, and that would be it. Pretty simple. Now, once you've completed the form, you need to send a copy to the recipient, to the IRS, and possibly to your state tax authorities. The form can be mailed to the IRS, but it has to be done on an official form, not a copy of the Form 1099 NEC that's downloaded from the website irs.gov. Alternatively, you can file it electronically using the IRS's FIRE system, certain tax software, or a service provider like ourselves. Make sure you check out the description of this video as I've posted some helpful links down below for you there. Now, if you have a question that you would like us to answer in a future episode, then feel free to leave us a comment or shoot us an email via the address in the description below. And did you find value in this video? Then please consider giving it a thumbs up or subscribing to the channel. Just make sure you click the little bell icon when you do. That way you'll get a notification whenever we upload a new video. So like I say at the end of every episode, until we meet again, keep earning, keep learning, and just like that, this chat is adjourned.